in our early days of TNM Sports, we're wanting to really connect with the people that are following us and keeping up with us on social media. And so today we're debuting a brand new show that we've been talking about doing for a while, called You Asked For It. And so basically kind of letting you guys know what that is. We put a post on Facebook. You submit in your questions to that post. You can submit them via Twitter at TNM_sports. You can email them to us at tnmsports18@gmail.com, or you can just write them on our Facebook wall, and we'll do our best to answer them and get them to you in a timely manner. Hence, we're doing this on a separate podcast. Today, we had, for our very first time that we're doing it, we had two awesome questions from two good friends of the show. That we're going to address. Both of them are about the Carolina Panthers. And so, we'll do our best to answer those questions as good as we can. And, just we want to thank you guys so much for interacting on social media with TNM Sports and for listening to the podcast and to the shows and things like that. So we'll get to rolling on this segment today. Matt, anything you want to say before we get started?
Yeah, like you said, we just want to thank everybody that does listen. And before we get started on this, on our weekly shows, we're trying to branch out and hopefully get bigger and grow. So if you do watch our weekly shows or even this one, we want you to go to your friends list on Facebook and invite 10 friends a week to like TNM Sports, and hopefully we can grow this thing and get it up and going, and we'll see where it takes us.
First question is actually a two-part question from our friend of the show, Mr. Biggie Short. First off, who wins Rookie of the Year in the NFL? And also, what do we think about Kelvin Benjamin coming out and saying that he purposefully ran slow at the combine so that his draft stock would fall because he wanted to be a Carolina Panther? Like you mentioned in your comment, Biggie, there were a lot of really good rookies this year. Brandon Cooks, Kelvin, Mike Evans, Sammy Watkins, Odell Beckham, all those guys. Right now, from the offensive side, I'm going to give the Rookie of the Year award to Sammy Watkins. Just kind of the way he has immediately impacted his team. The Bills are 5-3 right now. They're a legit contender to make the playoffs in the AFC, and I think just the explosiveness that he brings to the table. He's coming off back-to-back 100-yard games. He's caught up. He's actually surpassed Kelvin Benjamin in receiving yards and tied him in touchdowns. So I'm going to give the slight edge to Sammy Watkins over Kelvin Benjamin as far as Rookie of the Year on the offensive side goes.
Yeah, and for the offensive side for me, you can't go wrong with Sammy Watkins, but I'm going to go Kelvin Benjamin. I think down the stretch we're going to use him more maybe than we're going to have to use him more even than we have now. I think he's going to improve, and I think he is just what Cam needed, that big receiver that comes in and makes those spectacular catches like we saw Sunday. So I'll give the slight edge to him over Sammy when it's all said and done.
All right, and again, thanks for the question, Biggie. And the second part of your question, what do we think about Kelvin tanking his 40 for his draft stock to fall to the Panthers? I think that, on paper, Kelvin Benjamin is going to eventually be the best receiver out of this class. Behind Sammy Watkins, I think that he's got it all. He's got the size, he's got the speed. His hands are just unbelievable. It seems like if the ball's up, he can go up and get it, and there's no ball that this kid isn't going to catch. If he did tank his 40, that kind of, to me, either A, shows he's a very smart business guy, or B, well, not really a smart business guy, but knows what he wants and knows what he gets to get it. But to me, what stands out the most about that is he maybe it puts into question his competitive drive a little bit, because you don't want to be the 4th, 5th, 6th receiver taken just so you can go to the team you want. To me, that shows a lack of an edge maybe there. And so that's a bit alarming to me, but I mean, I've not seen anything to indicate that early on in Kelvin's career. But, to say, hey, I wanted to fall in the draft is kind of, it makes me raise some eyebrows at him. Like I said, the competitiveness, and two, I mean, who wants to lose millions of dollars?
Well, I mean, I think he realizes that if he does what he needs to do, he's going to get paid eventually. I think that he just kind of knew, looking like coming into the season, he knew that he could come to the Panthers after all we had cut, with Steve Smith. He knew he could come in and be the number one guy. He knew that he was what the Panthers were looking for and something that Cam's needed, that big receiver. And he wanted to go somewhere where he thought he could win, and he obviously thought he could win with the Panthers. You don't want to come off winning a national championship and just be on a bad team. But, yeah, I mean, it don't really make sense to me, but if that's what he did and he knew what he wanted, that's good for Panthers fans. In that if he wants to be there, as long as we continue to do and treat him well, he should stay with us for a while. So, yeah, I mean, I can kind of believe that he might do that, and I think he does run a little bit faster now than he did then. So, yeah, that's believable. If he wanted to be on the Panthers, that he would do that.
For sure. Our second question comes all the way from Austin, Texas, from Clint Harrell. He asks, "How bad will the Saints beat the Panthers tonight, and how many times will Cam get sacked?" Well, like I said in our podcast on the prediction, I do think that the Saints are gonna beat the Panthers tonight, and I think it's gonna be quite a sizable deficit just because, as good as the Panthers defense looked last week, I think the Saints offense is finally starting to gel and click, and they just looked really good against Green Bay last week. So I'm saying 35-17, and as far as sacks, Byron Bell's not playing this week. The offensive line's sketchy at best for the Panthers, so I'll say 3 sacks.
Yeah, and Clint's going to disagree with me on this one. I know him well, and I'm sure he'll have something to say about this comment that I am about to make. But I think the Panthers get it done tonight. I said it on the podcast, but on the weekly podcast, but that probably won't be up until later. This one should be up to you shortly. And I think the Panthers get it done. I think they realize that they need to win at home against the Saints because the chances of them going to the Saints and winning are tough. And I think they get it done. I think Double Trouble runs for over 100 yards combined tonight. I think Cam runs for maybe 40 or 50 yards with a rushing touchdown and a couple passing touchdowns. I think the defense plays good. But I do think he gets sacked twice. Again, we alluded to it in the podcast earlier that he extends plays too long sometimes when he should just throw it away. So I think he will get sacked a couple times tonight. But I do think that we will get the win. And, that's all the questions we have for this week. Keep your questions coming throughout the week, and we're going to try to do one, maybe 2 of these some weeks since they're just short little question answers. So if throughout the week you have a question that you would like us to discuss, please let us know on Twitter, on Facebook, email us like TJ said, and we'll try to get to your questions as soon as we can. Is there anything else you would like to say?
Yeah, again, just thank you very much, guys, for listening and for watching and for interacting with us on social media. Keep the questions coming. If there's something you want us to talk about on the weekly podcast, let us know. And share us with your friends. Thanks so much, TNM Sports. We're out.